Haitian police announced they will soon launch operations against the powerful criminal group terrorizing the country. In Palestine, Israeli occupation troops carried out several raids in the West Bank. Authorities reported at least 16 people detained and many others injured. In Russia, President Vladimir Putin met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi within the framework of the 22nd Russia-India Summit. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from teleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Haitian police announced on Monday they will soon launch operations against the powerful criminal groups terrorizing the country. In this regard, newly appointed Chief Romo Normel, along with Godfrey Otunga, commander of the Kenyan contingent sent to assist, assured that quickly the people will wake up and see that the police have arrested the bandits. In addition, Romo Normel avoided to reveal how they will proceed due to strategic reasons. The situation deteriorated sharply at the end of February when armed groups launched coordinated attacks in Port-au-Prince, claiming they wanted to overthrow former Prime Minister Ariel Henry. The Attorney General of Venezuela, Tarek William Saab, offered statements on the destabilization attempts perpetrated by the Venezuelan far-right, together with Colombian paramilitary groups. During a press conference, the Attorney General revealed new evidence of the actions of the far-right against the electoral process of the next July 28th. William Saab assured that they are working hand-in-hand with the Colombian Attorney General's office to clarify the facts regarding these denunciations generated last July 6 by the Autodefensas Conquistadora de la Sierra group. Furthermore, he emphasized that these sectors had met on several occasions with the irregular groups to show them maps of the Miraflores Palace in the city of Caracas and of the energy system in the state of Zulia, with the objective of sabotaging the campaigns for the upcoming elections.
Today, I've also made contact with a link that is in the Colombian territory, who has informed us, okay, see this detail that is worth of knowing. 2 months ago in La Guajira, Colombian Guajira, they contacted this group, paramilitary group. These subjects, these subversive subjects outside the law, qualified as paramilitary group in Colombia of far-right, they sent a first emissary that identified himself as a member of the opposition of the Venezuela government and contacted known leaders of this sector. Afterwards, 3 meetings were made in a restaurant. This was communicated to me, this emissary that is in Colombia.
The former paramilitary chief of the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, Salvatore Mancuso, disclosed more information about plans of the Venezuelan far-right that sought the support of the armed groups to destabilize Venezuela. The action sought to carry out a coup d'etat and assassinate the then President Hugo Chavez. In an interview to the Venezuelan news agency, the former paramilitary explained that several leaders of the Venezuelan right wing intended to bomb the Miraflores government palace and the military base of La Carlota. Mancuso indicated that groups of Venezuelan opposition leaders were able to gather paramilitary with the ultimate purpose of shedding blood on Venezuelan soil. He also detailed that the paramilitaries received advice from Israel to carry out violent actions, ambushes, and tortures. Mancuso called not to get involved in processes of violence and war. Instead, he said that there is the path of dialogue.
In
that operation, there was complicity, of course, with the authorities of the municipalities, authorities that were Enrique Catalán in Proyecto Venezuela. He was mayor of Hatillo, Enrique Capriles of Primero Justicia, and mayor of Baruta, and Enrique Mendoza, then governor of Miranda State. The capture of that command, remember that they went to train to a dactary farm in El Hatillo. The military involved were Major General Ovidio Tovioli, Colonel of the National Guard Jesus Farias Rodriguez, and Colonel Yael Contreras Rangel. Rafael Farias Villaville, captain of the army of Colonel Jesus Farias. Among the businessmen, there was one from the state of Zulia, Gustavo Singh Machado. Another one was Robert Alonso, owner of the farm Dactari in the state of Miranda. He was nicknamed the Colonel by the members of this paramilitary group that was there trying to overthrow President Chavez. Among the deputies, Oswaldo Alvarez Paz was one of them.
Let's now take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Those stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back. In Argentina, after 128 days, workers of the news agency TeleSUR announced they will return to work on Wednesday and leave the encampment with which they have been resisting the closure announced by the President Javier Milei. In this context, the Argentine police removed the black fences that had been erected by order of the government to close off all the entrances to the agency, whose platforms had been inactive for more than 4 months. The action follows the government's announcement that TeleSUR will not close its doors but only act as an advertising agency. Regardless, the workers declared that the defense of public media and the right to information for the whole of society will continue to be their main fight. In Argentina, also citizens mobilized in Buenos Aires to denounce the death of 5 homeless people as a result of low temperatures. In this context, demonstrators point out that although the government of Buenos Aires has increased by 120% the number of teams to assist and provide immediate response to people in street situations, the executive policies are still not enough to tackle the problem. This way, several social and political organizations took part in the protest and went to the Plaza de Mayo to distribute blankets and clothes to those in need.
It is true that there is a huge crisis at national level, that the national government has dismantled all the strategic areas. The Ministry of Social Development, which played a fundamental role in being able to articulate all those programs that tried to respond to the very complex issue of people living on the streets, no longer exists. It does not exist, the areas do not exist, and we have a mayor who boasts that he is carrying out this policy of cruelty, that in recent days we have only had 5 people die of cold in the streets. 5 people have died of cold in our streets, in the richest city in Argentina, because the government is not even able to bring them hot food.
Extreme cold in Argentina has caused several rivers in the province of Santa Cruz to freeze over, threatening livestock farming in the region. In this context, the National Meteorological Service issued a red alert for the mountainous area of Santa Cruz after temperatures fell to minus 25 degrees Celsius. For its part, the Argentine Rural Confederation said that snowstorms since June 28th have made it difficult for hundreds of farmers to feed and care for more than 1 million sheep and overall some 50,000 cattle. Precisely due to the storms, the sun fields remain inaccessible, with farmers already confirming the death of animals as a result. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro announced the creation of a fund of $1 million to help the region of Cumanacoa, which was hit by the passage of Hurricane Beryl. In this regard, Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez informed through her account on the social media X that the special fund is destined to tend to all the economic sectors affected in the region by Cumanacoa. The Vice President also detailed that this financing will be granted with special and flexible conditions to reactivate the productive circuits of the region that was seriously affected by the passage of the meteorological phenomenon. In the United States, the arrival of Tropical Storm Beryl has left at least 8 people dead in the state of Texas and Louisiana. After making landfall in southeast Texas on Sunday, Beryl was downgraded from a hurricane a tropical storm early morning, according to reports from the National Weather Service. In this sense, officials said 7 people had died in Texas, Harris, and Montgomery counties, while one more fatality was confirmed in the neighboring state of Louisiana. In this context, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick reported that more than 2.7 million people were affected by power outages as a result of the storm that also triggered flood and tornado watches. As Beryl moves towards the Midwest on Tuesday, it threatens to elicit more flooding and tornadoes along its path.
Say that I'm seeing more of this kind of damaging weather than I've ever seen before. I mean, this is just the beginning of July. And for us to have a storm of this magnitude is very rare.
The Chinese government allocated a fund of more than $118 million to support the recovery of several flood-affected regions. The Ministry of Finance and Water Resources reported that these funds may be used by local authorities in the country's central, eastern, southern, southwestern, and northeastern regions, including Hunan, Jiangxi, Hubei, and Guangdong. This assistance will prioritize the repair of water facilities and the elimination of hidden risks. Parts of China have been experiencing heavy rains and floods for several weeks now. In Anhui province alone, 800,000 residents were affected, while some 195,000 people had to be evacuated. We have a final short break coming up, but before we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience. You can scan the QR code on screen to join directly, share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean as well as the rest of the world. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back. In Palestine, at least 16 people were detained and several injured in raids by the Israeli army in the occupied West Bank. Meanwhile, the occupation forces stormed with a large contingent of military vehicles and bulldozers the city of Tulkarem and the camp of Nur Shams, where they destroyed infrastructure, surrounded hospitals, and arrested media workers. Moreover, in the camp of Askar, 3 children and a young man received head wounds from bullets fired by the Israeli soldiers. At the same time, 16 people were arrested during raids in the cities of Ramallah, Kalkilia, Hebron, Nablus, Bethlehem, and Jericho. In this way, at least 9,600 Palestinians have been arrested by Israeli soldiers since October 7th. In Palestine, Israeli shelling in Gaza killed at least 19 people and injured dozens on the 277th day since the start of the occupation regime's genocidal war. Medical sources report that 7 people were killed after an Israeli attack on a house in the Nusayrat refugee camp, while another 6 people were killed in a shelling on a house in the north of Gaza City. Their rescue teams managed to pull a baby alive from under rubble. More deaths were reported in other areas of the capital of Gaza City and in the southern city of Rafah since last October 7th. Israel has killed 38,193 Palestinians. However, experts say the figure could exceed 186,000. On Monday, Yemeni and Iraqi resistance groups launched a new joint military operation targeting the Israeli port of Eilat. In this regard, Yemeni armed forces indicated the operation used multiple drones to attack a major Israeli target in Eilat, adding that the objective was successfully achieved. The statement also said that this action was carried out in support of the oppressed Palestinian people, their fighters, and in response to the massacres committed by Israel in the Gaza Strip. In early May, Yemen announced the 4th phase of its operations in support of Gaza and assured that it would attack all ships bound for Israeli ports. In Iraq, thousands of Shiite Muslims marched towards the holy shrine of Imam Hussein as they marked the start of the Muslim month of Muharram in the city of Karbala. This way, pilgrims at the Karbala arrived from Baghdad, Basra, and many other Iraqi provinces The event also attracts pilgrims from countries with Shiite populations such as Iran, Lebanon, Kuwait, Pakistan, and Bahrain. Muharram is among the holiest months for Shiite Muslims and marks the martyrdom of the Prophet Muhammad's grandson, Imam Hussein, and his companions in the Battle of Karbala in the 7th century. In this context, volunteers set up camps along the route to the Imam Hussein shrine to provide free food and refreshments to visitors. On Tuesday, Russian President Vladimir Putin met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as part of the 22nd bilateral summit to strengthen relations between the two countries. In this sense, during the official Russian-Indian talks, the parties discussed not only bilateral cooperation, but also the regional and global situation. In the meantime, the Russian leaders stressed that relations with India have special privileged character of friendship and strategic partnership, as also the Russian leader valued the Indians' attempts to find ways to resolve the Ukrainian crisis by peaceful means. On the other hand, Narendra Modi reiterated his nation's commitment to find a way to peace through dialogue.
There is a very long-standing friendship between our countries, good relations that have developed over decades. Among other things, you are trying to find ways to resolve the Ukrainian crisis, above all by peaceful means.
Excellency, as a friend, I have always said that for the brighter future of our next generation, peace is of utmost importance. I also know that solutions are not possible on the battlefield. Solutions and peace talks can't succeed amid bombs, guns, and bullets, and we need to find a way to peace through dialogue.
We have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.